back through them recently.
Okay. Anyway, we are live now. We'll consider now this the official. Let me remove this from Brandon's face. Okay. So now, everyone, we are here with Brendan Chung of Blendo Games. Well, let me know if the audio is okay and everyone can hear Brendan's voice and my voice. So, yeah.
Hello.
So,
Hello, everyone. Oh. All right.
let me just change the channel here. Okay, David Kilmer. All right, we're all, everyone is filtering in loud and clear. So yeah, we'll go ahead. We're starting now. But anyway, we're playing. Anyways, huge thanks for being here. Brandon, just a quick introduction. I guess you have made a bunch of indie games and was previously at Pandemic. That's probably not the best summary. I don't know if you want to talk a bit about your work.
No, that's great. That sums it up. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I got my start doing mod work, and then I got a job working in AAA for about 5 years. And now I've been doing the whole independent thing for about 5 years now with Blendo Games.
And some of the games you've released, Gravity Bone, 30 Flights of Loving.
Yeah, Flotilla, Atom Zombie Smasher, things like that.
Yeah, and this is sort of just to give some context for me, which is that yeah, your work has been a big influence just in terms of level design. I think that's the idea of like wayfinding, which I've brought into my own work as well, and we'll talk about that as we continue. And it was, I was like I'm a big fan of Warren Kar-wai's films, and I know you are as well. And I remember, and your work is significant because I used to give Warren Kar-wai as an example of the kinds of storytelling form that I think video games could not do. And then I played Gravity Bone, and I was like, that felt like a Warren Kar-wai film, and it sort of made me realize I was wrong about that. But anyway, let's go ahead, and this is Quadrilateral Cowboy. We'll kind of get started with the game, and then start just kind of have the conversation go from there. So. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to just lower the volume on the game a little bit.
Oh, I can't hear any noise.
Oh.
I can't hear any audio. Is it just for the stream?
Yeah. The people in the stream can hear the audio.
Oh, okay. Got it.
But yeah, Google Hangout doesn't give you desktop audio.
Okay.
So I was thinking the format for this is what I'll do is kind of like play through this level kind of straight first, and then what we can do is come back and then talk about sort of every element
Sure.
in more detail. So anyway, I'm playing WSD, and I'm using a trackball for it. But all right, lights off, left click to execute. All right. Okay. I keep wanting to hit enter. I don't know if does that. I think that.
Yeah, that's it's a very common thing.
Yeah. Oops. That thing. Hey, sorry about that. Sometimes Google Hangout falls asleep. You can still hear me, Brendan?
Yeah, I can hear you.
And let me set up screen share again.
Cool.
There we go. Yeah, can you see?
I don't see your desktop. No. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's working now.
There we go. Okay. By the way, Roku the Slayer says, always love this song. Don, aka Unk, says, so looking forward to this game. By the way, everyone, welcome. We're talking to Brendan Chung of Blendo Games. Anyway, and if you like the channel, you should follow. So let's go ahead and where were we? Door open.
Yeah, get the door open.
Okay, very fancy object carrying. You can scroll to pull and push. Hold to throw.
Oh, that's someone's luggage, William.
That is right. Yeah.
Jesus. How would you
We'll
like someone through your?
We'll put it back gently.
That's good.
We will put this back. Not sure how they can find stuff. It looks the same. Everyone's got very similar suitcases in this world.
Yeah, it's very uniform.
Alright, stand beneath hatch. Hold W and press spacebar. There we go. This actually reminds me a lot of the GoldenEye train level. You've played that.
Oh, I have not. I've actually the first console I got was the Xbox 360.
Oh, interesting.
So I'm kind of not as familiar with a lot of older console titles.
Right. Huh. Okay, this makes sense. I mean, you're very much a PC guy.
Yeah, I've played a lot of PC games.
And certainly your love of trains is coming through.
I love trains.
By the way, Clifton says he wanted to gush while we're playing through this, which is that he loved... Well, 30 Flights was amazing, is what Clifton says.
Oh, thank you, Clifton.
Right, so we've come down here. We've got these bottles. Let me see if they... Oh, okay. They don't do bounce around a lot.
Are you trying to destroy the bottles?
I wanted to just see what happened. I know you're sort of a very big fan of not useless, but interaction that I think in the Aaron Signals video he talks about it more, where it's like levels of interactivity that are meaningful in the context, but not necessarily rewarded.
Yeah. I mean, I like it when games let you kind of express yourself. Like I've Gone Home lets you just pick up any object and put it anywhere you want.
It's a game about
tremendous amount of
turning on the water and all the faucets.
Oh, it's great. I love it.
Light on attic open. Get instructions. Stand beneath hatch. Ooh, okay, let's... Oh, that's me! Oh, hey. Huh. That's, I think I played an earlier version and this wasn't here. Brennan, you okay? The camera looks like it's frozen. Let me just chat. I think I hate people with luggage. This is the Doom 3 engine, yes. Hold on, guys. We're having some minor issues with Okay, so Brandon's PC. Brandon's PC froze, so we are we're no longer in the conversation with him. which is okay. We'll just yeah, so I played an earlier version of the game, and I don't think this mirror was here. What I'll do is I'll just disable this for now. God, Google Hangout. We're always having problems with it. Anyway, this was in here. Environmental storytelling. Okay, data jack access. Okay, we got that.
Complete.
I return to hoverbike. Where? Oh, this is where we came from. Ooh, I'm gonna turn on the light. It's actually really dark. Yeah. Right, yeah, Twitch should have a way to guess. Oh. Oops. I don't think I meant to... It was supposed to jump off. Alright, there is this. Okay, it looks like Brandon is back. So let me sort that out. Hey, Brandon.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi. Hey. Hello. Sorry about that.
No, that's no problem. We are, I don't... You're totally black.
Oh.
Camera,
you know what? My webcam resets its settings every time I start up.
Okay.
I can do that right now.
Sure. I'll set up screen share.
Cool.
Present everyone. Yeah, so we played through it. That first, we're heading back to the hover bike.
Okay.
Right
Cool.
now.
All right.
Doctor.
All right. So I think before. Hey, Brandon. Okay. Hold on.
Hello.
Brandon is back. So I was thinking we would actually go through that before we continue with this stage, just to start from the beginning again and kind of talk about just that level, that opening, kind of some of the level design. You can see it with the screen, right?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
Cool. That's good.
Huh.
Little portable LP.
Right.
Your vinyl man.
And I was playing it because I had opened up the game previously to check it out, make sure it was working. But when you play the game, the open up for the first time, it actually just goes straight into the cold open. Right?
Yeah. It skips the main menu. It just launches you straight to the first level. Because it just... I mean, I like it when games do that. It removes that extra step that's kind of unnecessary, I feel.
And I think it's good because it's if you're it's sort of a thing that is platform dependent, because on consoles then they force you to. I believe you do need the main menu. Yeah.
Yeah, consoles have very specific rules, so you must
Right.
have a main menu that it goes to. But PC.
So,
PC.
we were talking. We came out of the tunnel, and at the beginning, and I was just curious: was there a reason why the tunnel? I guess just visually to have that feeling of coming out is that sort of why that? Because like, you could also just start without the tunnel, right? On the track with the train catching up to it.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of for that reveal moment of like when you realize that you're going to rob a train. I liked having that little moment where you realize, oh, we're actually going to do something at the train. So if instead there was no tunnel and you just saw the train immediately, you kind of don't have that little moment of surprise where
Oh, I see.
things are revealed to you.
Right. By the way, I'm actually drinking orange juice here. As I know, Brandon, big fan of orange juice.
Hey, good. It's very thematically
Yeah.
appropriate.
Attention and so you do also not only the modeling but also a lot of the graphic design as well.
I do all the art and all the design and all the programming.
And there was a question earlier. It was like Doom 3 is the engine, and Blend, not Blender. Blender is the tool
For modeling.
for modeling. Yeah.
Right. So originally, the game just gave you the big core of the game is that you have this portable laptop and you type commands into it, and that's how this level originally started. But it was a little intimidating for people to immediately at the very in the first 30 seconds start typing commands in. So that's why this kind of blue box interface exists right now, where it kind of eases you into that whole system.
Right, and you also, I can see you already sort of have some of the formatting where like the door 1 open 3 is 3 seconds, even though that's sort of not like explained here.
Yeah, it kind of just trusts the player to kind of like let it absorb into their brains.
Right.
And let it be a thing they'll figure it out on their own.
Is there? I do love that you have the lights, but couldn't you? Is simply having door as the only option too obvious? I guess it would then remove sort of the point of having the WS at that stage.
Yeah, it's kind of like a soft gate of forcing them to learn the WNS.
Right, because it's like it's yeah, right, I see. Because if there wasn't, then you'd sort of just you could and that's why the door is on the bottom, right? Like you have to use the S to navigate down. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's not I hadn't noticed until we started talking. And then you know, sorry, go on.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Finish her.
I was going to ask about the enter to select, which I did that a few times, and I don't know if that's something you've observed or have thought about. And
yeah, no, definitely. It is one of the more challenging things about making this game is that a lot of it involves typing, where both of your hands are on the keyboard, and a lot of it involves keyboard and mouse, where one hand's on the keyboard, one hand's on the mouse. And for reasons of the deck, the laptop you get later on, of trying to make that interface work, I needed to find some sort of convention for making those two work together. And so what I'm doing right now is just left click is to always confirm things. So I'm trying to introduce that very early to kind of get the player used to that.
And I think there was in some of the later ones there was a timing element, and it to do enter almost took more time. Like
yeah, definitely. So that's kind of the big reasons why left click is there, and it is. I'm still figuring it out. Maybe it needs to be massaged a bit more, but because you're not the only one that presses enter when the level starts.
Right. I just, it's just you're so. It's such a convention. It's such a big convention.
Yeah, definitely. And you can't really reverse that convention in a game. Trying to fight against like 20 years of experience is hard.
Right. And yeah, so up here you have the lights. These are intended to guide players. The lights on the side.
So the Doom 3 engine, the way they do shadows is that there's generally no ambient light. And so things end up being pitch black a lot of the times, just because
Oh, I see.
it's expensive for the engine to do overlapping lights. So you tend to do lights somewhat sparingly. And so if you have like a black edge of the train against the black floor rushing past you, you can't really tell where the edge is.
Right, I see.
So that's why the lights are there.
And I noticed one thing is, and I believe you posted about it, which is that the blur is baked in. Right?
It is.
These are blurred textures that we're seeing.
They are pre-blurred in the Photoshop blur filter.
And it is very yeah, it's actually I didn't realize that about the Doom 3 that it had no ambient light, but I just always thought you had a very interesting, a very unique lighting aesthetic. It's very harsh.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's just kind of built into the engine, and I don't know, I like it.
And this opening sequence with the train, this was. So you said it was like added after you saw the laptop being a little bit too intimidating. Is that like, as in this, the whole idea for the train came about to address that issue?
Largely, yeah.
I see.
I've been bringing Quadrilateral Cowboy to various shows and expos, and it was always really the learning curve was a bit too steep, I felt. So I needed this level to kind of ease the player in kind of more gently. So the train is like a nice area for that, because it's a nice linear chain that you just had to go from car to car to car.
Yeah, it's sort of very clear which way is the right direction.
Yeah. You can't really mess up too bad, I don't think.
And I like that you sort of have a kind of a wide variety. Even with these two cars, we've already there was a door you had to hack in through, and then you climb up, and then a a hatch, and then this sky window, and then coming down, and then now a regular door. There's like, we've already been going through a number of ways of traversal. Shooty Deluxe, and I think it is something you talked about before, but they want to know sort of reason you chose Doom 3.
I chose Doom 3 because I just know the tech pretty well. I got my start doing mods for like Doom 1 and Doom 2 back in the mid-90s. And I've just stuck with the id software engines like Quake and Quake 2 and Quake 3 and all those. And basically every engine they make kind of builds on top of the previous version of their engine. So it's been... So I know pretty well, I feel.
This is where we got cut off. I think your computer froze right then. But I was saying that this I don't remember. I played an earlier version, and this was not here.
Yeah, it's a new thing. It's a little mirror.
Yeah. So all of a sudden I see myself now, which I don't think. Can you kind of talk about like the reason for this? It definitely caught me by surprise. I thought this was actually one of my teammates.
Okay.
Just when I came out, and I was like, well, first I thought it was, someone in the train, and then I was like, oh no, maybe if they're up here, they're a teammate, and then it wasn't until I started moving that I realized it was me.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing, right? Because like your character really should know what they look like, so that kind of is a weird thing in video games. Is that I don't know how I look like.
See, it's interesting because I always want to be me. you know.
Right. Yeah, you expect to see William Cheer
Right, and
hanging
so
out.
so you just like by not having the mirror, you can maintain that illusion.
Yeah. Yeah, so this game is about you and your two friends, the ones that are the two other bikes at the beginning. And so I wanted it to make it. I wanted to be very upfront and very clear as to, of this trio of friends, which friend are you? Because when you see pictures later on, I want you to recognize that, oh, that's me, as
Oh,
opposed
I
to,
see.
I don't know who that is.
I see.
So this room is challenging for a lot of people.
Is it because you have to follow this first?
You have to look up, and yeah, you need to. Well, I mean, yeah, I added that. So the orange cable was originally not there, and people were having a really tough time. So I added it, thinking people would like follow it. But that didn't help as much as I wanted it to. So then I added those little signs of saying like data jack access.
Yeah.
It's a little bit too much, I think, because like there's two of them, which seems.
Yeah.
I'll need to delete one of them, I think. But even still, it's still a bit challenging. But you know, I think it's fine because like the room is so small, and I think it's not. I think it implies that the solution is in this room somewhere, and there's so little things in this room that I think people figure it out eventually.
Right. But just out of curiosity, then, like, why not put this just on top? You know, on this. I wonder if it's also like, okay, so two questions, like, why not put it here, and then the other question is why have this click option that doesn't because it's also a very small hit point. You know what I mean?
Oh. You know what? Yeah, I should probably remove that.
Oh,
So, yeah, originally it wasn't, but I did a pass through the game where all the glass is destructible now.
Ah, I see.
And so by doing that, I removed some of the hitboxes. I'm going to write that down, actually.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you can shatter the glass if you throw something through it.
Oh, got it.
Which is a alternate solution for this little area.
So why not? But why not have the data jack access?
Right. So there's a timing element where when you open it, it opens for 3 seconds only.
Right.
And I wanted to introduce I wanted to make it clear that there was a timing element.
I see.
So by putting the button kind of far away, it makes the possibility of failing this area possible.
Right.
Where suppose right next to it, it'll be you would never notice that there was a timing element to it.
And then, but having it on the ceiling as opposed to, you know, because you were saying that's like a first-person game issue, right? That people have a hard time looking up.
Yeah.
Although this one, your ceiling's super low. But
yeah, even still, people kind of
Right.
they tilt their mouse a little bit down all the time. I find.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, part of the reason is because in this game, looking up is something you'll need to do.
Okay.
So I wanted to make that. I want to introduce that here, very early on.
David. I did break it.
Yeah, it's a loud and dirty way of doing things.
Though I don't think it's
Yeah, you can destroy all the separate panels of it.
We're
You can just make a big mess everywhere.
I thought it was environmental storytelling.
I mean, yeah, it is.
There.
Someone is like sneaking up to the attic, having a little drink.
Alright, well, we'll do this.
Objective complete.
It's funny. I don't know why I didn't think of try that right away. As soon as you said glass was destructible. I
think it's because something I'm I might change that area because I think throwing a glass object against a glass object doesn't really read. Whereas if it
Yeah.
was like a metal wrench or
Right.
you know, some sort of power tool, it might be more clear. So I'm trying to figure out what's the best metal object to put up there.
Right.
Wow. This stuff's not cheap, you know. Jeez. Someone's gonna have a bad day.
Um.
So the mind your head was part of the trying to get people to look up.
Oh yeah. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Huh. I actually thought that was a joke for when you come back down.
Yeah, I guess that works also.
And I love this too. That it sort of right away gives a time, but it doesn't feel intentional because it's backwards.
Right. Yeah.
And this, I'm assuming it's also part of the Citizen Able.
Yeah, so all my games kind of take place in the same. They kind of all share the same universe.
Right.
But they generally don't carry. They usually don't like directly connect with one another. Like this is not a sequel to any previous game.
Although they have had certain characters appear.
Yeah. They'll kind of do little cameos every here now and then.
Okay, this is one of my favorite. If I remember how it's done.
We'll just throw that monitor up there.
Okay, save point. We'll put this down. So this game had it's been in development for a few years.
Yeah, early 2012. So I'm approaching year 4, I believe.
Okay, yeah. So actually, this month is for me marks the third year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I started November 2012, or completion of third year.
Yeah, we're pretty similar in terms of length then.
And this level kind of. I remember when so this is not the first time I played this, but I remember when I thought it was going to be very hard, but it actually made a lot of sense. And of course, I built my own PC. Have you noticed, like, for people who haven't built their own computers, if this is there difficulty in that? I do think it's a great lead up for a programming hacking game.
Yeah, I mean, I found that most people get it, so I don't think I'm going to change it. But there is a fair amount of people who kind of have to figure it out. Yeah, and I kind of don't know what to do about that. But yeah, I mean, they figure it out eventually, so I'm not too worried.
There's not a whole lot else you can do.
Yeah.
In this level. The fan. Oh.
Very nice. Very good.
Oh, Happy New Year. When you design these spaces, are there particular stuff you're drawing? I mean, it feels. You know, I'm just kind of curious. Is this like you sort of this door from somewhere and then this from something else?
Yeah, generally when I make a place, I mean, it depends on the place, but like for this specific case, it's like I'm trying to imagine if I had some grimy warehouse office, how would these people function inside there?
Right.
Um, so there needs to be a sink, there needs to be a door, there needs to be all these things. So I'm trying to imagine like how would they actually use the place?
Oh, very cool. It's just, I'm already wearing the Otis eyes.
You are. You
Yeah.
got some sweet Otis eyes. So that's something I'm still figuring out because I'm trying to be pretty liberal with trying to teach a player that just press Z.
Liberal
Um,
in the sense of maybe they need
yeah,
to know it, maybe they don't really.
uh, it's very advantageous to know that because the game will
Oh,
be much more
interesting.
difficult if you don't know it. So there's like 3 or 4 separate times where it teaches that, but I think it's still not enough. So I might need to be more direct with it.
I see. Because with this one right now, it's almost it's a very optional
It is definitely,
learning. Yeah. Um,
yeah.
okay. Oh, right.
So this is your first time inside your cool computer.
Viewer thing. Bienjinsu. The tutorial as product advertisement is pretty awesome. David Kilmer says. Capper. Uh-huh.
So one of the reasons why Doom 3 is a good fit, so in the previous area with those computer screens, that is just built-in technology with the Doom 3 engine. They have these kind of
Floating menus.
in-game, yeah, these little GUI screens where you get a virtual mouse and you kind of like move the virtual mouse and that has its own little scripting language and everything. And so for this game where it's all about computers and interfaces,
Right.
it was a good fit. So this car area is because Doom 3, in the Doom 3 code, there is support for vehicles, but the shipping game, they just didn't, the game didn't ship with it. I guess it just didn't fit the design of the game or it got cut for whatever reason.
When you say there's
but-
support for moving vehicles, you mean like there's like a code for a car to run?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's all hooked
interesting.
up. It's
Oh,
all ready
wow.
to go. It's pretty robust, but it just wasn't, it didn't fit the game for whatever reason.
Right.
So I just threw it in here because it's pretty funny, I think.
It's interesting. I feel like your work always has a lot of in dialogue with game. It's sort of like Robert Yang's talk on from level design when he talks about like history of level design. That when because I wasn't too much of a gamer and playing when using Unity, that engine is very. It doesn't have. It's very blank. Whereas I feel like with the stuff you're using, it comes with these like this baggage and this history that you can use, which is interesting. Like just kind of just with the car thing, right? That it was like
No, yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. Like I tend to make my engine. I tend to make my games focused on the engine. So I mean, I kind of design when I want to make a game. I first decide what tech I want to use, and then around that tech, I'll make the game. It's kind of like when you make a game, you want to make that game fit the controller the best way.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're going to make a Wii U game, you're going to make a game that fits that specific interface the best way it can. Same thing for 360 and the PlayStation and the mouse. And so I kind of feel that same way for tech, is that if you're going to make a game, I find it, for me, it works to kind of make your game very, very custom fit for a very specific piece of technology.
And I guess in some ways that's almost like kind of inform the work. It's like then you have work that's built in that style, and it's like this two-way thing that just.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes back and forth between the two, of course.
I'm just gonna post on Twitter. Okay. Hold on a second. Okay, so we'll come back in here. Oh, Seiji, this video is not loading. Sorry, Seiji. Let's see. We just did Alley Cat, and okay. This is where. Oh, so you do well. Although you do teach it again here, right? The added zoom.
Yeah.
Missions.
So this is kind of the fallback plan if the player didn't see it the first time. And in the next level, there's another fallback plan because people are still missing it. Yeah, I guess that's one of the things of teaching people things through signs and stuff, is that there's a way to do it where it's optional, which is, in this case, that's the press Z to zoom. And if you do that, you just got to know that a lot of people are going to miss that stuff.
Right. I am curious about this choice to. I thought I was going to fall at first, and I was looking for a way. Is this? Well, why not just put a visible path?
Yeah, it's because I didn't want. So I feel it's kind of like when you tell a joke, you want to have the least amount of moving parts as possible. And so I feel that for tutorials, if you're trying to teach someone something, you want it to have the very bare minimum of moving parts. And so for this area, I want to remove falling damage or gravity or floors.
Oh, I see.
So it's as bare as I can make it.
But why not? Couldn't you always just do the path and then like invisible collider to prevent falling?
Yeah, no, you totally could.
Although I feel it works well with the VR. That the movement here is like another reminder that you're in a virtual world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, part of it is just as funny to walk on air,
right.
But part of it, I just couldn't find a better solution to invisible walls, because I find invisible walls to be they kind of take me out of the game for me.
Demo type telnet. Type help for commandlet. Oh wait. Okay. Type door 5. Available commands for door 5. Door 5 dot open. And let's say 20.
Yeah, so in the book there's that blotched out ink part, and this is kind of the area where you have to decide whether this game will work for you or not, because if that part is kind of the wall for some people, and I think that if you kind of get stuck there, the game kind of comes to a halt.
Right.
So that's challenging about that part.
Yeah, I like that. At that point, it's basically just being like, there's sort of this like big intimidation factor with programming, and that was just like, you're gonna have to look at the screen, like this, you can't just follow these instructions, you're gonna have to, read what's on the monitor.
Yeah, it's a rough balance to find. I'm still deciding whether it actually works or not.
Not press enter. There's no. Set down.
Yeah, so then you click on this guy.
Okay. Huh. Debug, yes.
All right.
Yeah, huh.
So that
was that it?
Yeah, that was the train level. Yeah.
Just so like in terms of do people mess around there and try to like SSH into other machines or anything?
Try to what?
Try to SSH into other machines?
Oh. Yeah. People who work with like IT and stuff. When I bring it to shows, they teach me a lot about things I should add to my game. So there's lots of keyboard shortcuts that they've insisted that I put in, and so there's lots of little shell commands that you can do.
I'm just thinking now, it's like from a design standpoint, you have both the level design, and then in some ways you're also designing a programming language, right?
Yeah, it gets pretty weird because like I get confused sometimes because there's a code layer which is C++. There's the in-game computer, which is its own weird language, and there's an in-game console. If you hit Control Alt tilde, it'll open this debug console, and then I get mixed up in the three sometimes. It's a problem.
That was actually a big inspiration for me. I added my own debug console after I saw yours, and added NoClip, and it was like incredibly useful.
I remember that. I was really happy to put that in.
And I'm just like, I can't imagine being without it now. It's so incredibly useful.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you don't have it, you don't really miss it. But once you do have it, it's like I can't live without this thing.
Yeah, like we need to add autocomplete.
Oh yeah.
That's we don't have that right now, and that's can be pretty tedious. Okay.
Something I added to the Doom 3 console was a find command.
Oh yes.
So you type in find, and then it'll search for commands in the debug string. So you type in find, and then like light, it'll give all commands that have the word light in it.
Wow.
So whenever I need to use a light command, I'll need to search through this list.
Right. This is all sort of like this is built into the engine.
The console is, but the find command
yeah.
I do in.
Yeah, and I was talking to the Crow Team, Talus Principal guys during GDC, and I remember one of the things they told me was that Unity for them is such a strange term for an engine, because for them an engine comes with all this stuff like this. This game that they're like, we just give them our engine which has all these tools, these debug tools, and you just start to mod it until it becomes a thing that you want. Whereas with Unity, you sort of have to build all of these things from scratch.
Yeah, that's interesting. I have very limited experience with Unity, but I'm used to the id Software engine where it just gives you everything, and it's made for doing one type of game.
Right. We have a question here from Emotion Theory. You talked about this a little bit earlier. Do you frequently jump through different tech when making games, or wouldn't you prefer to be comfortable with just one? but it is not you're when the different. It's just different versions of Doom engine. Am I right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When I was growing up, I used like Doom 1, Doom 2, and now I'm using Doom 3. No, I generally stick with like so. Generally, my process is when I want to make a game, I'll first do some research and try to find an engine that I want to do with it. When I don't actually make the game, I'll make like a dummy throwaway game or kind of a quick little small project with it. I shouldn't say throwaway, but like I'll do a mod with it. So for this, to learn this engine, I made a mod some years ago called Pathways Redux, which is kind of a remake of the Bungie game Pathways into Darkness. And so the point of doing that was to kind of learn the engine so that later on I could make a real game with it, like this one.
Non-Euclidean applied chemistry.
Yeah, all my custom-made books.
BSP tree theory and practice. Model case simulator. Alright, let's do this. Training wheels, payment, objective, photograph the contract. Okay. Tap. Oh, interesting. So this was the lantern. Ah, okay. Oh. Huh.
Yeah, that giant neon sticker is a recent addition because the UI is a little bit too subtle right now.
The sticker?
The UI on the bottom where it says lantern and next page.
So I guess the question is, why not just have the lantern be on by default?
So the problem is if you're in a room that is already lit or brightly lit, it blows out the page and it makes it look like overexposed. So this is kind of the alternative to that.
But I mean, I guess why not just have it be like have it on or off depending on whatever is the appropriate one at the time. I do love it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, I know what you mean. I used to work on at Pandemic. One of my jobs, I did level design there, but one of my jobs was to do third-person camera. And one thing that one lesson that I learned was that if you try to automate things for people and try to like, I'll just figure out what you want and then give it to you. I personally just can't get that to work because there's always weird edge cases. There's always like even if it works 99% of the time, that 1% of the time is such a deal breaker that it just doesn't work. So I found that, we ended up just making the camera just automated. Just manually controlled the entire time. Mm-hmm. So we took out all the automated stuff, and it worked better.
So you didn't do any design in the end.
Basically, yeah. All of my work was just, yeah. I guess that's true. I didn't think about it that way, but now I do.
And then we took out all the stuff we were gonna add.
Yes, the book isn't done yet, but it's kind of this giant manual of all the things in the game.
And I love that it's also very in-game, as opposed to...
Yeah, like a pause menu, something like that. Totally. I'm a big fan of the Far Cry 2 map, where your character like physically holds it up in front of their face, and it just lets you get into car accidents, and it's wonderful. I love
it. Let's see here. Page up and down. This is It's interesting that this might be the first game that uses page up and down on the keyboard that I've played.
It's been out of service for a long time, so I'm trying to bring it back.
Bird3.open. Oh, you know what? I didn't. I believe I forgot to telnet into it.
Ah, yeah.
Although, did I lose my? Oh, there we go. Tab autocomplete.
Yeah, they're somewhat broken, apparently. Let me write that down. Didn't know that was happening.
Oh, it's down there. It said, yeah, tab autocomplete.
Yeah.
And where did the idea for this? Did you do like a prototype with the hacking mechanic first?
Yeah, that was what the game started with. Just the computer
Oh
and
wow.
trying to figure out what we could do with it. Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the origin of the project was how do you make a hacking game
Uh huh.
that has actual typing in it? And so from there, this is where this game came out.
You know what this reminds me a lot of? I was just watching Ghost in the Shell, rewatching it, and at the beginning she's on the
Yeah,
top floor and jumps off, and this feels very much
totally.
like it.
It pays a lot of homages to that. If you
Yeah.
press Z, you can zoom into little highways and
Oh.
see little cars
Oh
hanging
wow.
out.
Yeah. Did you ever play Arkham City?
I
The
have,
Batman
yeah.
game. Did you know about that glitch where if you spam the ice bomb, you can fly?
Oh,
There's a
that
glitch
sounds
where if you're
great.
crouching on a billboard and you kept throwing ice bombs, you can like keep getting very high to the point where you're so high you can fly outside of Arkham City to Gotham. And then you actually and they have textures of like cars on the highway. You can't
Oh
land
my
because there's no
god.
colliders.
Yeah.
But I always wish they should have just like put the developers hang out there. You know, like you go and you're just like walking around in the streets. There's nothing to do, but they just like say silly things to you.
It's amazing.
I think they patched it out, which I was so disappointed with. Um, okay. Interesting. So you got the this green is that Did you always have the green bar on the train level as well when you're climbing? If you know what I mean, like just
Yeah, yeah. So there's a visual language of colors in this game where neon green equals uh, some sort of interactable gameplay thing.
right.
And so green, whenever you see a green thing, I want, the intention was to associate that with like, oh, something important or gameplay related is going to happen here.
Out of curiosity, why is this tree here? Just
I thought it looked nice.
okay, okay. I was just you know, I know. 'Cause
Yeah.
there's a lot with your work, a lot of intentionality. You know, I was just kind of curious, like how
Yeah, you know what? I actually
it is
don't
growing
really.
out of the.
It is.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it was, I don't know. I don't know if there was a specific reason for that.
So, like, I guess my question, you know, and this is the stuff like you have the green here, right? And I feel like, why not have the green bar?
Yeah, so that's a recent change. I took it out recently because people were then associating the green bar with like, oh, this is the only thing I can climb.
Right.
Whereas the way the climbing works in this game is that
Oh,
like I'm not manually setting the climb points. The game
right.
just analyzes the geometry, so anything is climbable.
Right.
And so it was a choice I had to make to like, oh, well, I should just remove, I should not make the player rely on the green bar.
Got it. But is there and if you by the way, so hello Bell Bunny, she's here now, and Emotion Theory asks, he says, it's interesting how most modern design gives almost complete control to the player. It seems to work better both from the designer and player perspective. Back in the 90s, automated cameras. Yeah, like, you know that game Remember Me?
Hmm.
Third
I haven't
person?
played it, but yeah, I know of it.
I actually couldn't play it because they kept doing the thing where they'd always pick the right camera angle to make it cinematic.
Oh,
But
did that
it was like so jarring because there were so many changes.
interesting? Yeah, yeah. I mean, the intention is good, but I think it's difficult to pull off.
All right, we got the ledge. By the way, I wanted to ask, is the green line, is that intentional to have it shown
Yeah,
through? Okay.
yeah, it is. It can't. Yeah, it's it causes some confusion sometimes because there's no depth perception in it. You can't really tell how close or far away it is sometimes.
Can I?
Are you sure it's long enough?
Oh fuck. Sorry.
Yeah. So this area is something I'm still figuring out because I try to put signage that if you open this door longer than 3 seconds, the alarm will go off. But it's not working, so I'll need to find some other way.
Signage? Oh, right. Alarm triggers
Yeah.
the door.
But I mean, it looks like decorations. It looks like a cosmetic thing.
Yeah.
So it's something that, I mean, maybe putting it on the door directly might work better. I don't know. But yeah, I'll need to work on that a bit.
Huh.
And so because I couldn't have anything, I put it right in front of you, right there, hoping it would work. So even if you did fail, you'd still see the sign.
I think maybe, you know what was? I wonder what happened was my computer was blocking it. Because you put it like.
Blocking the door?
Oh no! Oh, I see. Actually, no, it's pretty big. I thought maybe my computer was blocking the
Oh, right.
the
So
sign.
signage is right.
Yeah. I want to. There we go. Oh, actually, yeah. Now it's interesting.
So this one's a bit more in your face. So
Yeah.
this one's a bit more harder to miss, I think.
I think this one also has the lines. Part of it is this one you see it and you've got the pipes leading your eyes to it, right? Whereas I think with that one, it was like along the wall. So
Okay.
it's sort of hard to see because you're just looking at the. You come in and you like never approach it straight on. You're just like, there's the.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're focusing on the door and kind of ignoring everything around it.
Whereas
Yeah,
this
that makes
one,
sense.
it's like.
Yeah, there's kind of a lead up to it.
And I think the color it also in this case the red, it's such a bright red.
Yeah, totally. That's a good point.
Great 5 dot open 3. Oh,
Uh-oh.
I thought.
So what happened was, as you were falling through the grate, it kind of clunked on your body, and so the door kind of stayed longer for 3 seconds.
Oh,
If that makes sense.
yeah. Now This is the VR thing, right? The plus signs.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there a reason for that?
It's a cosmetic thing.
Cosmetic
There's
thing,
no
okay.
actual functionality to it. I have some concerns that they might read as crosshairs, but we'll see if that becomes a problem.
Am I climbing on the ledge here?
You are walking on the ledge. Oh, are you stuck in the wall?
No. I was trying
okay.
to. It had the bump there, and I wanted to kind of get across it.
Ah.
Okay. 4983. Uh,
You're trying to speed run the game.
yeah, I just kept clicking it. Is
Yeah, it's a
that
little bit.
random generated every time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
This is actually this is such a, you know what, this is so interesting
Hmm.
because I remember one of the things you showed me in my game was having this glass at the end of a tunnel that extends out into the hallway, which helps guide there was, a number of, I've sort of brought that up as a example of architecture that guides a player. And in my game, it works because it sort of teaches you to go that way. And if you are going backwards, you're constantly not running into a light. And then it also forced you to. It also got players to look up when I have hallways that bend upwards.
Okay.
And I notice now with the mirror that it actually also shows you more of it, right? It's like from here you can see that you're going down already.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know if this was an intentional why the mirror was here.
I mean, it was placed there just so that it kind of made you look at yourself, so that you couldn't really miss it. It's a non-optional mirror.
Right. Oh yeah.
Um, no, but that's a
Well,
good
you could have
point. You
done
can kind of.
this. Avoid the mirror.
You're right. You could totally do that. That is true.
It just sort of the way you placed it was very similar to the way I've been using those windows.
Yeah, yeah. It's a really clean and elegant way of kind of guiding the eyeball to see things.
Oh, okay. What if the middle part of this? Oh, oops. Ah. Okay. Right there. That. I should have totally seen that. Few things.
Uh-huh.
David Kimmer says, "Love the fact that you have to be attentive." Clifton asks, "What if the middle part of the sign said something like 3-second door?" Oh, we were talking about that earlier.
Oh, like put it on the door directly.
Oh no, he just said the middle part of the sign said like 3-second door.
Oh,
So
oh,
just the
oh, oh.
number was more obvious.
Yeah, no, maybe. I mean, my gut says people are just missing the sign completely. But
Right.
maybe if there was like actual functional information like that, maybe it'll catch their eye more. So
Right.
yeah, possibly.
Um, Let me see if there's a sign that says the laser can't be off for too long. Bet there is. Laser 9. Oh, there is a. So the laser
Yeah.
also can't be off for longer than 3.
Um, there's two signs for it.
Oh, there is a sign
Uh,
there.
there's one right there, and if you kind of zoom into the laser itself, there's a small label on it.
This.
And if you mouse wheel in, you kind of read it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
It's, I love tiny text. It is one of my favorite things in video games, so I'm
Yeah.
trying to use it as much as I can.
I'm not very stealthy. They pretty sure they know I'm here already. Emotion Theory also talks about design sensibilities from the witness. Being attentive to the environment is key to solving puzzles in a game. Although it is a very different way. How do I say this? Because the witness is sort of more atmospheric in its.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet, so I can't really comment on it. But I did go to a talk where the artist was talking about how every area was kind of very thoroughly thought out, as in like how did it get built? How did they get the materials to build this area? Is there a road to bring the
Yeah.
materials to this area? And that stuff I don't dig into that as much, but it's something that I try to be conscious about when I
Yeah.
build an area up.
So I guess like with this one, you like do have to let the players that if you did like instant fail with the alarm, it would be quite. It'd actually be very not fun.
Yeah, yeah. So right now, and this for the very first mission, the alarms kind of are just it's more of a status thing. You can hit as much as you want.
Whoa,
Yeah, you're playing hardcore mode now.
laser 9. Dot open
You're doing it.
3. Ah,
Oh, this is-
dot open. I like that. This is
yeah.
okay. Let me. I
So
couldn't read.
originally, it tried to orient your view to turn your view upside down, but it was a little bit too. It wasn't working right. I was trying to be too smart, so I just let it. I just did the easy solution.
To let it happen.
Right, right.
Ah, laser 9 on. That's right. No, dot off. Yeah. Wow. I'm too used to having the where you tap and it shows you all the functions.
Oh, it should. Does it not do that?
Oh, did it?
I think it should, but maybe it's supposed to.
Oh, I see now. Okay. I'm gonna mess it up. Oh, got it. Okay.
A very
Oh,
loud
man.
keyboard.
Yeah. I have a mechanical keyboard, which
Ah,
is probably what this game should be played with.
yeah. It's the ideal way to play this game.
Right. Okay, that was.
Yeah, so this room is when the game gets a bit challenging because it requires some.
Although now I realize
level
that
of gymnastics.
I also didn't need to go there, right? I could have just totally put the laptop here, and then I would have had a view of it.
Yeah. So yeah, the table was placed like that so that you could do that.
Right. I guess for some reason I thought I had to be like next to the object.
No, you know what?
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen many people do that, so I think it's just something about the architecture or the way the systems work. People feel that's necessary.
Right. So then, doesn't that mean there is? Well, I guess because that you have situations where you do like that this password thing where you do need to be physically there, so you can't just be like find one vantage point and then where you see everything and just like hack. Like
Yeah, no, you're right.
Because this one
Yeah.
you need to physically be there.
Yeah, there's a timing element. You need to see the little capsule moving through the tube. So yeah, you're right.
Motion Theory loves the tiny label. Yes, it is the Manifold Garden guy. I guess technically
Excellent.
you do have the Corey game talks about the Rat Man from Portal, and that you do have that. Or he was thinking like graffiti tips.
Yeah, totally. I love. So yeah, my thing about video games is that I don't really like reading words in games, but if you like put the words on actual props and like in-game objects, I'll happily spend like hours and hours just pouring through all these little props and stuff. So that's just my little quirk with games.
Laser 20. Separate commands with the semicolon. Okay. So, I wonder if I can do. Okay. See, what I wanted to do was to type it, and then not, and then come out, and then do this, and
Yeah, so you can do that, but the interface is a little bit is not as clear as it could be, I think. So if you right-click the
Oh
mouse, you
no!
can,
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I see. Right.
you can leave your computer
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh wow. Okay.
Uh-oh.
That was not 3 seconds.
So no, you're right. You're right. It was there's a timing thing that's kind of weird with the lasers is that they need time um to turn off. So they don't turn off instantly. They need time to kind of like dim down. It's maybe like half a second or so.
Oh, I see.
And so that half a second is included in 3 seconds. So you're right. It is less than 3 seconds.
Um, yeah, and you know, motion theory was saying like once the player knows to look for details, they'll constantly be on the lookout for them. Certainly,
Yeah.
I was paying attention to this.
No, yeah, I'm totally hoping that'll be the case. And like, if you're consistent with it, and like,
Right.
if they zoom in and there's actually something there all the time, then you kind of build this trust between you
Yeah.
and the player.
Aha. Yeah, like here I'm. Well, it says alarm triggers if camera stays off longer than 3 seconds.
And if you go under the camera, there's some more text to help you
Oh.
out.
Tampering with this camera could result in electrocution. Do not break the seal. Up to $200 fine or 3 months imprisonment, or both is provided by Nuevos Aires Code, annotated section 9725 for anyone tampering with this camera or breaking the seal.
This is very helpful information. Very, very relevant stuff.
Let's see. This is camera 3. Oh, cool. Look. I wonder. Look, X, look at video feed. Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Remember, press spacebar.
I think that's one of the first props made in the game.
The camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was in the Indicate trailer.
Yeah, yeah. So this is
Can
from
you
little
take
birds.
pictures of them and have them blow up? Is that?
No, you can't. That would be cute. Yeah, if you had a camera, sure, but there's no camera right now.
Yeah.
So this is the part that kind of confuses some people too, is that a lot of people then leave this door and then go out back the way they came in.
This way, right? But the camera's there, which I suppose I could turn off.
Yeah. So that's fine. But the gag is that there's actually an exit door in this hallway, but it doesn't seem to quite read for some reason.
And I broke the glass.
Oh, you broke the glass, so you got a little shortcut.
Well, I knocked it over.
Yeah. Perfect.
Can I? Is there a way to replay this level?
Yeah,
guess-
you press F3 to restart it.
And we're almost done here, so but I'd love to maybe just talk a bit about this level and kind of what you were thinking with it, having gone through that. Yeah, and this is very much established. Pull to select.
Yeah. So this table is actually a sticking point because a lot of people put the computer on the floor. So I put the little hash mark on the table. It's like,
Right.
hey, there's a little slot here for the computer. Little yellow marker lines, um, and it sometimes works. I try putting like footprints on the floor so that stand here, but I don't know. It's just a little thing.
Was the game always starting with the programming concept thing? Well, the opening level has a very simplified version of it. Yeah.
Yeah, the train level. Because originally this was the first level of the game,
Right.
but it was just way too challenging.
Now, you were talking about the gag here. You were saying that there was an exit in the hallway where we were.
Oh, right. So you press F1 to kind of just
No click? Yeah.
yeah, and go through this door.
Oh,
So
there
this
is
is an
exit.
exit door.
Oh,
But,
so you're saying everyone would do, they'd go back.
yeah, they run through the entire level. Which I mean, I guess it's not really. It's fine. It's not really too long, but
Oh, does deactivating no clip sends you back?
yeah,
To,
yeah. It's
oh,
more
I
for
see.
like
Right.
reconnaissance stuff.
I'm curious. So just from, we did not go through all this?
No, there's two other missions in this
Okay.
map.
I see. I was actually kind of curious if we could talk a bit about the way this is designed. Is that mostly to so that it allows for like a wide variety of movement. You know, you starting off with the climbing and then this. By the way, I love areas like this, and it's what made Dishonored really fun. But which then, because I didn't play Thief, and then when I replayed Thief, I realized a lot of that was already there, like being able to swim underwater or to go in somewhere.
Yeah.
And it was this. It's all closed off now. I'm seeing a lot of the. Yeah, I mean, just like, is that yeah, was that was intentional to have sort of a wide variety of movement types early on?
Yeah. I think that it was. I needed to try to like make the player go through all the different types of things they'd be doing. So this, I see this level as kind of being the fundamentals level where
Okay.
you have just the deck, just these basic commands, and the rest of it is just, walking or crawling or climbing. And so to make that, it's pretty bare bones. So to make that as interesting as possible, I'm trying to be careful to kind of cycle through this thing as much as I can.
Oh, I see. And is David Kilmer wants to know if you feel this game is a departure for you in any way?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of view most projects I do as a departure from what I typically do. So I try to make every project I do different from the previous game. I try to not repeat myself because I think that it's fun to kind of try genres. Try making a game in a genre that you've never done before. My first game, Flotilla, was a 3D turn-based space game, and I've never done anything like that before. So it was fun to just like jump in to the deep end of the pool and just try it out. So for this, what's that?
Oh yeah, no, please continue.
But yeah, I just tried. So this is very different from like 30 Flights of Loving and Gravity Bone, which is very. This is extremely systemic and very mechanics focused.
Just kind of curious, like when we come out into this room, Is there a reason why this is? Oh,
So I'm hoping people see that chair and want to toss it through a window.
oh yeah.
'Cause-
Actually, I didn't realize what it was for until I saw it, and then um. Yeah. So earlier I was trying to walk on this. Was this? That was.
uh,
Um. I guess I could.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I can climb too.
Yeah, so I'm thinking you can climb. Your character is extremely agile. You can climb most any surface. So, like, even this window, I believe you can clamber onto the ledges on top
Yeah.
because it should detect it, right?
Yeah.
Um, but it's a challenge to kind of make that clear to the player because that's not something that is, conventional, I think.
Yeah. Like climbing onto this.
Yeah, you're trying to learn. You have to unlearn what you've learned in other games, and
Yeah.
oh, now everything's climbable.
I mean, the interesting thing is it makes it not. You don't want to move it because you have these that like block you. There's this gets in the way. You can't just
Yeah,
like walk through.
yeah, totally. That's true. Those little ledges, those little things that get hung up on, though, I have strong feelings about those things. I think that shouldn't happen. So Doom 3 uses a square player capsule, whereas I think most modern games, most modern stuff uses the cylinder. So the square lets you get hung up on things a lot more, which is a little unfortunate.
I see.
Are you trying to toss it over the fence?
I'm trying to toss it up there and then climb up.
Oh,
I could.
interesting. Can you climb on top of the chair and then climb over it?
Actually, that's too high anyway.
I see.
This. I thought I. Oh no, we gotta climb up there. Yeah, that's the. With the window. Did I just slide?
I don't think so,
Okay.
unless it was a bug.
7078. So these are random. Yeah, I don't. That was a good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, so the wheels, the way they work is that just left click to go to the next number, and there is no way to go to a previous number. I think like having left click go forward, right click go backwards is like one possible solution. But I'm trying to. The problem that brings up is that if you do right click or left click, then people will think everything has alternate function. Whereas if this is the only thing that has a right click functionality, then I felt that it would be confusing.
Is there a reason why this window is here? I mean, it shows you next, but because it, in the sense that like this is an isolated puzzle.
Yeah. This is because this puzzle area has been redesigned 5 times. And
Okay. Yeah.
that referred to a previous iteration where you needed to do that in this area. But something interesting was that even when it was that, because that glass was there, people felt that command, the semicolon tutorial thing, was not applicable to this room. Because I think people viewed it as like, oh, there's a glass barrier, I should ignore that stuff for now. So that was kind of a learning experience for me to learn that, people didn't read it as being part of this room.
I see.
As being applicable.
Previously, you had the glass here so that they would, because they would need to use that, and the idea was they'd have to see it.
Right.
Yeah. To be perfectly honest, I actually didn't either. It wasn't until I got to the next room that I read the sign. That's interesting. Yeah, you very much are. You're like, okay, that's the next room over, and then I'll worry about what's there when
Totally.
I get there.
Yeah, I think there's just something in the brain where it just makes you think that, oh, that's not applicable here, which makes sense.
Right.
It just
It's a
wasn't-
physically different, and I think because like we don't communicate across windows.
That's
You know
true.
what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
are, and I'm assuming this loop is sort of just to give it more time.
Yes. Yeah. Totally.
Oh, right. Yeah, and now it's like this feels so. I wonder though, like what if you just? Oh, I'm guessing this is from the previous version. Like if you just open up had like if this didn't have if this didn't extend out here and it was just like
Oh.
because then you wouldn't want to. I guess people might still want to put it on the floor. Right.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, when you were playing it, I was kind of thinking that, well, why is this thing so long? So it could be shorter.
Yeah.
Let me, write that down before I forget.
Hey, thanks for stopping by. Emotion Theory. And if you turn the laser off 3 times separated by semicolons, would they come back on in between?
Let's try it out.
This is.
Oh,
work.
you know what? I think you found a little loophole because I think it just lets us stay off for longer.
Did it?
So what should happen is that it should hit the 3-second alarm, but it didn't. So you
Wait, let me see what happened. Does that?
so I think it stayed off for 9 seconds, right?
2,
Is what it looked
3.
like to me.
No, it's still 3 seconds.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. How strange. Interesting. Oh, you know what? All 3 of them are getting fired at the same time. All 3
Oh,
commands
I
running at the
see.
same time. So if you add a wait 3 seconds between them, then it might do something different.
There is a wait.
Yeah, there's a wait. You will learn that in the next mission, but there's a wait command.
Oh, you do it.
Yeah, so it detects that because it's more than 3 seconds long. Yeah, so yeah, the scripting stuff in the deck is pretty flexible, so I'm pretty interested to see what people do with it.
Yeah. Hey, Sanatana. I'm guessing that's S. Mishra here.
That is. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah, so this area used to be 2 cameras. So you would turn off one camera, wait for a couple of seconds, then turn off the next camera, and then you would physically run through the deactivated camera areas. But it was really punishing, and it required way too much like physical dexterity of like you had to learn the typing, and you also had to run and be agile. And so that's why this capsule thing exists now, is because it allows you to just focus on the typing stuff and ignore.
Oh,
You
whoops.
can just stand still, and it doesn't really matter.
Right. The I reset it accidentally.
Oh, you blew it up.
Is there a reason why it's 3 and not 4 or 5?
3 is just a video game number. It just feels good.
7, 8, 9, 8, 3, 6. I think that's
Huh.
got.
I think there's 2 of them on top of each other.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's bugging out. You might need to guess the number, unfortunately.
Yeah. The
Oh,
why is such a problem? It's not specifically a problem here. The We might have too many. Not just putting the thing on the floor. You. No, right. So what we were talking about was the reason why this thing is ideally here is then you can see the capsule move through there and get the timing right. Um,
right.
I don't know if we can figure it out though.
Yeah, you can just no clip through the door if you want to move on. Just do the go to the console, Control Tilde,
Uh, Control.
and type in no clip.
I think we're good.
Oh gosh. Oh no. Something horrible has happened.
Um,
Oh gosh. Yeah, I think it's messed up.
all right. That's we were. We can just go back here. Ah, well. I mean, that was. I don't know. We'll see. Oh.
Yeah, save load is it's
Um.
not going.
Well. So the game crashed, but
Yes.
that's perfect timing anyway. Uh, so I don't know if there people have questions for Brandon. Maybe we'll stick around for a bit. And
Sure.
in the meantime, what I want to do is to tell everyone. So you can check out the website, blendogames.com/QC, and Brendan also streams on Twitch. You don't have a regular schedule, right? It's sort of random.
Not really. It's usually in the around like 9 a.m. PS Pacific time.
Okay. But yeah, Brandon's got a channel. It's just twitch.tv Blendo Games. He's on Twitter. And this is a true reflection of how it's like to solve programming problems. Yep.
Yeah, it's a lot of me looking at Visual Studio. So if you want that for your stream, definitely check in.
And do you have a timeline for when the game might be coming out, or you haven't talked about that yet, right? Oh no, I think Brendan froze. All right, his computer crashed again. All right, we'll see if we don't have any spoilers. We'll see. We'll try to get Brandon on just to wrap up things a bit. So yeah, I don't know. Do you guys have any? Yeah, this is very meta. It's contagious. Do you guys have any questions for Brandon? By the way, actually, one thing I wanted to talk about is some level design resources here. This is just to link. Corey Game, I'm gonna wait for Brandon to come back before answering your question. But this is a number of resources that I found very helpful when it comes to level design. So anyway, let me know how's it how yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. How can you program the weights properly if semicolons are more like to do in parallel? I'm not sure what your question is, main GI. So yeah, anyway, there's the 30 Flights of Loving developer commentary, Devs Play Doom with John Romero, Portal 1 and 2 developer commentary. Yeah, 30 Flights. I noticed that also had developer commentary. It's a question to get you to consider how to solve the problem. Command 1, Command 2 plays 2 commands simultaneously. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Oh, hey, Brendan.
Hello, hi.
Can you hear me?
Sorry about that. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. We will do screen share. So, we have a few questions from the
Cool.
audience. That was very
All right.
meta, by the way. The game crashed and then you crashed.
Yeah.
So, one, Corey Game wanted to know, how do you find the motivation to work on a project for 3+ years? And do you have any tips for staying focused?
That is a really good question. So all of my previous projects, like Adam's Zombies Pasture and Flotilla and Gravity Bone, they've all taken 6 months or less. So I'm actually much more comfortable with that kind of window of development time. This project has taken, much longer than that. And I don't think I have a really good answer for it, but I think for me it's a lot of different things. For one, I work out of a shared working office here in LA called Glitch City, and it's been hugely important for me to have that kind of community around me of people who are kind of going through the same things that I am, and kind of seeing them every day has been hugely important for this game. So just having that support network, I think, is the big thing for me.
Yeah. And I guess also, I was a one-person team for a long time, and I know the thing is there's such a big variety of tasks you end up having to do. One day you're programming some lights and you're down in the engine messing around, and then you're modeling this room, and then you're doing marketing and then answering emails about showing the game somewhere. So it's like, even in the game itself, there's a pretty big variety of tasks to kind of go back and forth to kind of keep things not from being super boring.
For sure, yeah. You bring up a really good point. Is that for about 6 months or so, I work with another level designer for this game, Tynan Wales. He's now working on Tacoma with the Fulbright team. But yeah, that time working with him on this game was hugely helpful in that, just having that sounding board to kind of bounce ideas off of kind of gave the game a new a jolt of life. So that was another really important thing for me.
So the second question is regarding the so main Jab was asking, command 1 semicolon command 2 plays 2 commands simultaneously. So doesn't that mean you can't actually use the wait command because the wait would be used simultaneously?
It would. Yeah, the wait command gets run simultaneously, but what the wait command does is that when it hits the wait command in the chain of commands, it'll delay everything after it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Everything to the right of it will be delayed.
Oh, I see.
so you can chain things up.
Right. Um,
It's a little bit weird because like it requires a certain way of because it could go either way, right? Because you don't know which way this game works. So it just requires some playing around with it.
the anyone hasn't posted it, but I just like, is there? Do you have a timeline now for when the game will be out?
Yeah, I don't have a hard date right now. The game is in its very last, it's the last phase of development. I'm kind of just wrapping things up and polishing things up and making sure things aren't broken. So it should be, soonish. It should be, yeah, it should be getting there.
Okay. Well, anyway, huge thanks for coming on as a guest and talking about level design. I've posted this list of level design resources, and so I think the 30 Flights of Loving developer commentary is fantastic.
Cool.
I saw that for Quadrilateral Cowboy. It also, just on the menu, I believe there was a dev commentary section.
Yeah, it'll be similar to 30 Flights and how that 30
Yeah.
Flights does it.
And then this is actually through. I remember you sent me this podcast from 99% Invisible about
Oh, yeah.
wayfinding,
Yeah.
which was fantastic. And I know that's sort of one of the exercises you've told me about. This is O'Hare Airport in Chicago, by the way. I love that he actually talks about how well designed Chicago is as a city. And you talk about sort of when you're
Nice.
at airports and traveling, if you're lost, it's sort of, you try not to see it as your fault, but like, how could the space have been, like, why did you get lost? Why didn't the space get you to the right place?
Right.
Sort of this exercise. And just through this, I found there's a link to this wayfinding and signing guidelines for airport terminals, which I think is actually this incredible level design resource. And then, of course, there's Brandon's GDC talk, which I don't think it came after this, but yeah, that sort of does like a quick intro into some of the ideas.
Yeah. If you're kind of trying to get a really broad overview of kind of navigation in first-person games, this is kind of a little rundown of it.
Yep. And then, okay, so Brandon is also on, not on Twitter. Blendon. Okay.
No.
I'm getting everything.
I mean, that's a good name also. I don't know.
Blendo Games. He's on Twitter and on Twitch. And then here's a Quadrilateral Cowboy website. So, yeah, thanks for joining us. And,
Yeah, this is great fun. This is really cool.
Cool.
Thanks for having me.
Really looking forward to playing QC. And just give us a quick idea, like what we played. That's just the super beginning of it.
Yeah. There are. This is not well. There's much more content after that.
Okay.
It's not a 10-minute game like 30 Flights of Loving. So.
Right. David Kilmer said, "I almost said Tinder."
Wow.
See that for another.
Wow.
They're all. Oh, they should just merge it all into one: Twitch, Tinder, Twitter.
Yeah.
Are there any key things you? We'll take this last question. Any key things you learned while making a game that seems to merge your unique storytelling style and heavy systems-driven gameplay? Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Sinatra.
You know what? For this game, I tried to make the conscious decision to focus on the game mechanics and making the systems kind of play with each other. And I tried to actually tried to keep the story stuff as light as possible. So there is stuff in there because I just like doing it and I think it's fun to make. But it is very much not focused on narrative stuff like 30 Flights or Gravity Bone is. I kind of like to focus on doing one thing as opposed to getting multiple parts and putting everything into one project.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of the approach I'm taking with QC.
Okay. Well, cool. Well, thanks for being here, and wish you the best with the rest of the development, and have a good rest of the night.
Cool. Same to you, man. Have a good one.
See you, Brandon.
All right. Bye.
So yeah, that was the show for today. Anyway, thank you all for joining us, and if you like the stream, you should follow the channel. And next week we're gonna be talking to Brian Gale about induction. Yeah, huge thanks to Brandon for joining us. I'm gonna link his Twitch, and Brandon is also on Twitter, and I'll put the game website there. So yeah, this is yeah. So next week we'll have Brian Gale talking about induction. So anyway, have a good rest of the night, and I'll see you guys later. We'll do a outro.